years in 5 minutes. That's not possible. But I have to tell you that in 1954, when we celebrated the first 25, I'd been here about a year and a half, and it was easy. And then in 1979, when we celebrated another 25, our 50th anniversary, that was fun. And now tonight, here we are in 2004, celebrating 75 years, and I'm really proud to be a Rotarian of the Westwood Village Rotary Club. My biggest concern driving over tonight, and I told Carol about it, is making that next go round in 2020 and 20. Let me tell you a Rotary story, because I like it, and you're going to have to listen to it anyhow. And this has to do with Gene Ross, who was the photographer studio in Westwood Village with a daughter named Peggy. And the year, by the way, I'm starting is 1950, as you know. The next one is Bob Campbell from the bookstore and his daughter Dorothy. And the next one is Frank Redmond and his daughter Margie. And the last one is Bob Leonard, the real estate guy, and his daughter Carol. And wouldn't you know, in 1950, all 4 of those girls got engaged and were going to be married in July and August of 1950. So Mrs. Leonard, my future mother-in-law, had a big tea, and all the Rotary hands really came to that party, and that was the beginning of Rotary, I guess, for me, and because I had to come in and meet all those ladies just to show off a little bit, you know. Carol wanted me, kind of like having a prize puppy or something, whatever. But, anyhow, in 1950, those 4 couples all got married, and John Roberts married Peggy Ross, and they moved to the East Coast where he became a college professor. And Bob Tolstad, he married Dorothy Campbell, and later on, and when he got in the stationery business, he became a Rotarian of Westwood Village. And Margie, she married Jim Downey, and later on, and Jim came into the club in 1954. Hey, Jim. And then Jim Collins, at that time, an engineer in a construction company in Pasadena, married Carol, and later on became a Rotarian, and the year was 1953. It was a great time, and I wanted to tell you one thing about classification. Truman Fairless, where we met down on Wilshire and Westwood Boulevard, had the classification of restaurants, and things were really tight then, but because I was selling hamburgers for 19 cents, Truman allowed me to come in under the fast food category, and that's how I snuck into the Rotary Club. And the other reason I made it was because every Westwood Village Rotarian had probably been to my wedding in 1950. So, let me tell you a fun story. I checked it out at the Mormon Temple about 2 weeks ago. In 1955, in the first quarter, January, February, a guy comes in to make up at Truman's. His name is Ed Grigware, and he's an artist. And he's painting over at the new Masonic Temple. And I sat next to him a few times. Ed had perfect attendance. He came in, he was from Cody, Wyoming. He came in every Thursday for about 14 months. And in about February or March of 1956, Ed said to our Rotary Club, look, you guys come on over. I'll give you a tour of the Mormon Temple before they shut it down. We went over and saw the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve and all of the animals. And the room was about 35 by 35 and about 24-foot high ceilings, and the walls were painted from the floor to the ceiling. And Jim would tell you, it was fabulous. It would just take your breath away. And I'm sorry I can't go back and see it now, but anyhow, Ed was a great makeup guy and did a wonderful job for the Mormon Temple before they turned it over to the Mormons, and we got a chance to do that. The next big thing on my agenda here tonight, is talk a little bit about the move. In 1959, Truman's was going to have, he lost his lease, tear down the building and build an office building, and we met over at the Westwood House restaurant for about 3 months, and it was so crowded you couldn't get in or out of there for Rotary. And in January 1962, yeah, right? 1962, we moved into the Bel Air Hotel, and as I recall, we were paying about $3.50 for lunch, and it went to $7, and another $3.50, and there were a lot of people that were upset that we doubled the price of lunch at the Bel Air Hotel. We have been there 42 years, and I have to tell you, it's the best thing we ever did. It's a great place to have a Rotary meeting. Yeah. I'm going to finish up quickly because my time is up, but in 1962-63, a guy selling 19-cent hamburgers became the president of the Rotary Club, yours truly, and the district conference was in Catalina, and we went over to the St. Catherine Hotel, and everybody almost got sick on that boat. It was like this. It was really bad. But the best part was getting sent to the Rotary International Convention. It was at the sports arena downtown, and I got bus fare on the Wilshire bus. In 1963-64, our president, Doug Jones, worked on and chaired the chartering of a new West LA Rotary Club. And what happened was, for the first time in the history of Rotary, a Rotary Club gave up their name. We gave up West Los Angeles Rotary Club, gave it to them, and we took on the name in 1964, actually, of Westwood Village Rotary Club. And then in 1964-65, Howie Hinckus, who's here tonight, chartered the, and worked on and got chartered the Century City Rotary Club. And I think we had Ernie doing everything, including a trip to Europe for the Rotary Convention in '67-68. And Bob Lusk winds up the end of the 2 decades. And I do want to mention one thing. My brother-in-law, Bob Leonard, out here tonight, I think is the first father-son combination in our Westwood Village Rotary Club. Bob, welcome aboard. Thank you.